CEO Jensen Huang's opportunity to lay out the company's longer-term vision and what he calls could be a begin of an unused mechanical transformation. He too given an upgrade on Nvidia's Blackwell, the profoundly expected AI stage that's anticipated to come to showcase sometime recently. The conclusion of the year, he didn't truly give an upgrade on the timeline, but Huang does have exceptionally very high trusts. The Blackwell engineering stage will likely be the foremost successful product in our history, and indeed for the complete computer industry, indeed of the whole computer history. Huang went on to lay out the part that Nvidia's era AI items are playing over distinctive businesses from healthcare, where it's working with Johnson & Johnson Medtronic, so be it on quality sequencing and sedate revelation, the cloud players Meta, Microsoft, Google, among others. Huang too included that Nvidia is taking a collaborative approach on protection and direction, working with state and government offices to address these issues. At the beginning of the assembly, the stock was exchanging at $124 a share. You'll see it's exchanging presently at $123 and change. Nvidia, as of late, had its yearly shareholders assembly, and the company's CEO Jensen Huang dropped a few stunner declarations that are set on changing the company until the end of time. The CEO said that Nvidia has taken a number of steps to preserve its overwhelming position within the field of AI chips, and we're getting to reveal a few of them in today's video. Also, will conversation almost a modern bullish cost target on Nvidia stocks set by Cantor Fitzgerald analysts, so do not miss out. But sometime recently we do that. If you want to keep up with Nvidia's most recent overhauls and keep up with the stock market's latest news, you'll be able to subscribe to our channel as we offer most recent changes and catalysts within the advertise. So press the chime symbol button in case you do not need to miss the most current advertise overhauls. Presently back to today's video. When inquired to Ben Reitz's head of innovation investigate, Melius inquire about approximately Nvidia, a kind of expectable marvels, something we've seen sometime recently. So an financial specialist who is in there for the ride and goes, boy, we were down 15% final week. This usually the conclusion of the diversion here. Am I up to I be out of it? What's going on here? And he says, well, I think that Nvidia has these moves intra-quarter where individuals discover themselves underweight and they have to be catch up. And at that point it runs, and after that there's all sorts of things. This final week there was a rebalance, and I think a parcel of individuals were playing that, and after that it kind of loosened up and it created a big move. But in common, Nvidia has nailed the complete stack approach. The only thing that I'd experienced like this is often master. Well, perhaps two things. Perhaps the Wintel restraining infrastructure of the 90s or duopoly, anything they were, and after that Apple getting the iPhone, and the complete stack approach. When individuals nail it, when a company nails, it is able to produce an unbalanced share of the profits for that division, and in their case a few individuals contend it's like all the benefits. Well, that sounds like you're portraying the word we utilized prior, which is biological system, that they have built it, they claim it. It is their amusement to lose. That's right, what they did. Well, the for it that they had is unparalleled. That's why we were kind of chuckling when a few individuals inquired me. They're under investigation for predicting the biggest technological change ever seen, and they should be punished, but okay. But what they did is they built a language, a computer language, and an ecosystem that lets you make money off of AI. And they're obviously killing it. And I think everyone can benefit the most from the Mag 7 that we mentioned, even though we really love Apple and a number of other companies. At Nvidia's shareholder meeting, Jensen Huang said the company has transformed from a gaming-focused company to a data center-focused company, and announced that Nvidia plans to partner with more computer manufacturers and vendors, more cloud, to create new markets for AI. Jensen also talked about Nvidia's upcoming Blackwell GPUs and said they will be the most successful product in Nvidia's history, but did not provide information on pricing or availability. So it wouldn't be too surprising if this is true, because the Blackwell chip is expected to run at least twice as fast as its predecessor H100. NVDA customers competing with the H100 likely won't hesitate to pay a premium for an even more premium chip. Jensen also acknowledged strong competition in the industry, but he said Nvidia offers chips whose performance and running costs make them better value than others and possibly cheaper to buy. Additionally, Jensen said, Nvidia has reached a virtuous cycle in its customer base that allows it to create products that appeal to even more customers. He reassured investors that the Nvidia platform is widely available from all major cloud providers and computer manufacturers, creating a broad and attractive install base for developers and customers, making the company's platform more valuable to customers. Shareholders approved a $34 million pay package for Jensen at the meeting, recognizing his key role in driving's performance and a view shared by analysts. In fact, analysts recently issued a note saying that they have never seen a faster pace of technological innovation and the resulting decline in computing costs, driven by Nvidia and its complete systems approach. So let's talk about what analysts say about Nvidia stock and their new price target. And when Cantor Fitzgerald analyst CG News was asked about these price targets, how many times have you increased it over the last year or so as Nvidia continues this upward trajectory? And he said, it's probably 2 or 3 times, and I think the big bang was, a year ago, when you hit this big tempo in August, and I think since then, that data centers data continues to surprise. But when you step back and think about the acceleration in data centers, we're only at about 8 or 9% penetration. And Jensen's worldview is that we're going to 100% achieved, and if that's true, then there's a long way to go, and I predict the street will increase their price target many times over in the coming years. And when CG News was asked, do you think at these levels, is the pace of innovation that you describe, is the roadmap that you describe taken into account, or do you think the market hasn't quite understood it yet? And it says, I don't know. I think last year's seismic shift was the announcement of moving to cadence every year in terms of releasing new technology. And that's a very strong statement of change that I think Jensen is basically telling people he's competing to catch me if you can. And its holistic view of the data center is a big GPU thing in the way that it invests not just in the base GPU, but in the network processors, in the entire network architecture, in the entire capabilities connection, and I think can it do what it did in the last decade? According to analysts, over the next decade, the benefits it brings and the reduction in computing costs will truly make AI popular. Nvidia is making a strategic shift in AI development that shows no signs of slowing down as product cycles are accelerating. Scaling compute units, Nvidia's already strong competitive advantage continues to strengthen, forcing peers to continue playing catch-up, and on that basis, analysts' Nvidia stock expectations are rising. They also note that advances like GPT chat mark the beginning of AI, future growth with future improvements to multimodal logic capabilities and cultural adaptation. They continue to see business opportunities shift from data center capex to global spending rate and upcoming GDP spending rate, and this is what led them to reiterate their investment grade rating on the stock and increase their price target from $140 to $175. An increase this forecast implies a nearly 39% upside from the current Nvidia stock price, with analysts bullish. Views and Jensen's comments if investors buy Nvidia stock now. Let's find out. But first, I want to thank you for watching the video all the way through. These videos take a lot of effort and time, so if you like them, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. This helps us grow a lot. That said, in the video does not derail the growth trajectory of the company. It remains and will be the undisputed leader in the GPU sector, a market in which it has only seen growth. And when Daniel Newman, CEO of Futurum Group, was asked if there was, which was originally, for starters, from 1 to 3 trillion in such a short time, does this hint at the future trajectory of the stock? And Daniel said, man, I having to look at the whole trajectory of AI. When the stock was trading at about 10/10 of its value, I said this is the company to watch. It has tailwinds that AI is going to bring to the market, and it's not just selling GPUs, but a whole bunch of computers and software, and it's important that people understand how when you get a market advantage, and right now they have 96 to 97% that GPU space. You heard Jensen on that recording talking about having Google and Amazon and knowing that all the big OEMs are using his hardware. That this whole trend, and it's going to spread to Salesforce, it's going to spread to Microsoft and all its software, and then eventually to industries. That's what Jensen said. That's what investors are betting on, and the competition is going to be fierce. Currently, there are no native predators in the wild. There are companies trying, but no one can really compete with Nvidia. What to do if you invested $10,000 in Nvidia stock 10 years ago? Today, you would have $2.75 million, which is a life-changing profit of over 27,400%. But you should also remember that during this period, the company went through several boom and bust cycles depending on the demand for its GPUs. In other words, NVIDIA's future depends on meeting the AI industry's high expectations. Became almost a pure play on data center AI hardware as its other segments became irrelevant in the first quarter. Data center sales accounted for 87% of total revenue, the company's revenue of $26 billion, while the once core PC and gaming segment has shrunk to just 10%. Expect NVIDIA's diversification to broaden as the data center segment grows much faster than other segments. The move leaves the company vulnerable to a potential slowdown in demand for AI chips, which poses significant risks over the next decade. But investors should take note. In fact, don't worry too much about this. The global data center market is expected to reach a valuation of $622 billion by 2030. Up from $301 billion in 2023. And the technology market, the global AI market, of which Nvidia is the leader, is expected to exceed $1 trillion by 2030. So there are still significant opportunities for Nvidia to take advantage of, and Nvidia stock appears to has the potential to outperform the S&P 500 over the next 10 years, especially as the AI industry evolves and moves from simple chatbots to more advanced use cases across games, data centers, automotive revenues, and other opportunities. This is a company that still has a lot of room to grow as Nvidia has a market cap of $3 trillion and trades at more than 70 times earnings. Given its dominance and AI, it could still be a good stock. Buy and hold for the very long term, but with an already large market cap, investors should be careful to temper their expectations for AI stock. It will be extremely difficult for it to replicate the kind of profits it has generated over the past 10 years. But since we're talking about Nvidia, I'm not saying it's impossible. But what do you think about Nvidia stock if bought at the current price? Let us know what you think in the comments. And don't forget to let us know what you think is your review for NVIDIA.